And record.
Good afternoon, class.
Hi.
How are you all this afternoon?
Great.
Awesome. So, can anyone tell me what formula we learned yesterday?
That the area is the size of a surface.
Yes, we learned about area yesterday. An area is the measure of a closed two-dimensional region or the size of a flat 2D shape. Or as Kathleen explained to us, that area is the size of a surface. I have several shapes for you drawn on the definition of area, on the board here. And I would like you to take out your math journals and figure out the areas of these shapes.
Okay. So we learned that area is length times width
Yes.
for squares. So for the square, it's 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters, which would be 36 centimeters squared? Square centimeters.
That's very correct,
Square centimeters.
Kathleen.
Okay. And then figure B is a rectangle. So length times width again, so 5 centimeters by 4 centimeters equals 20 square centimeters.
Very good. That was exactly right.
And C is a circle. It doesn't have a length or a width.
Now, do you remember how we solved for that?
Pi times the radius squared,
Yes, very good.
and the radius is half the distance across the circle,
Yes.
and pi,
You can just leave pi in the answer. You don't have to solve with pi.
so it'd be pi times 3 squared, which would be pi times 9 square centimeters.
Good job. So what about the triangle?
I don't remember.
Okay. So you've got a base length and a height length, correct?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So if you do base times height, what do you get?
Get 20, as far as 20 square centimeters, but that's not right, is it?
That's part of the formula.
Okay.
Okay. So this, if I had drawn them to scale, would be half the size of this.
Right.
So what do you think the formula is for the triangle?
Okay, so it's half of the rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the base times the height divided by 2.
Yes.
So
The area of a
it'd be-
triangle is 1/2 base times height.
So it'd be 20 divided by 2, which would be 10 square centimeters.
Great job. And let's check. Let's see, the square is 36 square centimeters. The rectangle is 20 square centimeters. The circle is 9 pi square centimeters because we did not solve with pi. And the triangle is 10 square centimeters.
Cool.
Very good. Okay, so we have boxes of tissues in our classroom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how would I find the area of the box of tissues?
It's a 3-dimensional object. So it's got a height, and it has a width, and a length.
Yes. Okay, so a lot of times when we think of three-dimensional objects, we think of volume. And volume is the amount of space inside of a three-dimensional object. But we'll be learning about that next week. This week, to find the area of the tissue box, we need to find the surface area. And the surface area is a measure of the number of square units needed to cover the outside of a figure. Okay? So this is a net. We all remember what nets are, right? Yeah, okay. We are going to use these nets to demonstrate how to find surface area. The first net that I have here is a cube. And the sides of the cube each measure 4 centimeters in length.
So if we folded all those together on dotted lines, we'd have a cube.
Yes.
Okay.
So how do you think we could find the surface area of this cube?
Well, it's got it'd be the area of 1 cube times the total number of cubes, right?
It would be area of 1 square times the total number of squares.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that information, could you come up with a formula?
It would be length times width in parentheses times
How many squares are there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Right. So the formula to find the surface area of a cube is
Length times width times 6.
yes. And to simplify that formula, you could use 6a squared, because with a cube, all the sides are the
They're
same.
Okay, so you don't have to do length times width.
Okay. So what would the surface area of this cube be?
4 times 4 is each square, so that's 16 times 6 squares.
Yes.
6 times 6 is 36. 6 plus 3 is 9, so it'd be 96 square centimeters.
Correct. That is good math.
Surface area.
Yes. Okay, so next I have a net of a rectangular prism.
Ouch.
And rectangular prisms are a little bit more challenging, but I think you can do it.
Okay, because you have 4 rectangles and 2 squares.
No, you actually have 6 rectangles that are all
6
different sizes. Okay, so this rectangle has sides A, B, and C in length. And A is 8 centimeters, B is 6 centimeters, and C is 4 centimeters. To find the surface area of this prism, you need to once again find the area of all of the individual shapes and add them all up. Now, could we use the same formula as the square?
No.
Right, because all the sides are not the same size.
Right.
So, we have to come up with a different formula. But do you notice that some of the shapes are the same?
Yes.
So you've got these
That
two.
one and that one, this one and this one, and that one and that one.
Right. Okay. So, if three of the sides each have a matching side of the same size, we can just find the area of those 3 sides and multiply each by 2 and then add them all together to get the surface area of the prism.
Right.
So that would look like 2 times A times B plus 2 times A times C plus 2 times B times C. You got that written down?
No, 2
times A times B.
plus, wait. 2 times A times B, and A times B is in parentheses.
Yes. Plus
Plus
2 times A times C
times C
plus 2
times
B times C. Okay? So in this example, that would be 2
2 times
8 times
8
6
6 plus 2 times 8 times 4 plus 2 times 6 times 4.
Very good. Now can you solve?
2 times 48 plus 2 times 8 times 4 is 32 plus 6 and 4 is 24, so 2 times 24, so that's 96 plus 64 plus 48, which is a bigger number. 8 and 4 is 12, and 6 is, I can't think, 18, 10, 16, so 148 centimeters squared.
Very good.
Yay.
Okay. So now I have a real world example for you.
Okay.
I have a box
Mm-hmm.
and I want to cover it in fabric. So how much fabric do I need to buy if the box measurements are A equals 15 inches, B equals 30 inches, and C equals 7 inches? Would anyone like to explain how to solve this problem?
I think I know.
Okay.
So it'd be 2 times I'm sorry, 2 times 15 inches by 30 inches, and then 2 times plus 2 times 15 inches times 7 inches plus 2 times 30 inches times 7 inches.
Keep going.
15 times 30 is, 3 times 50, so it'd be 450 inches squared. 2 times that, plus 2 times 35, 105 inches squared, plus 2 times 210 inches squared. So then that would be 900 plus 210 plus 420, which would be 9, 10, 11, and 4 is 1,530 inches squared.
Very good. That was a really tough problem, and you managed to solve your way through. I'm so proud of you. Okay.
Oops.
So, I have a picture.
Okay.
I'm going to solve for the surface area. The shape looks like a cube, so I'll solve it like this. 6a squared equals 4 times 4 times 6, which equals 96. Now, is this answer correct? I don't have a picture of it right now, but I'm just going to tell you what the measurements of this prism are, okay? A equals 4, B equals 4, and C equals 6. Am I correct in my solving of this problem?
No, because this is the formula for a cube, and a cube has all sides equal.
Right.
So we'd have to use the rectangle formula for that.
Okay, so if I solved it with the rectangle formula, I would get 128 inches squared. Does that sound like a better number?
Probably.
So you'd solve it by going 2 times 4 times 6, which is 48,
Right.
plus 2 times 4 times 6, which is 48 again,
Mm-hmm.
plus 2 times 4 times 4, which is 32.
32.
So 48 plus 48 plus 32 equals 128 inches squared. Correct?
Yes.
Good job. Okay, so now if we had another person, you'd be in groups of 2, but that's okay. We're going to get into groups of 2. And together you will be finding the surface area of 4 nets. And you will have to measure the size on each net and calculate the surface area. You will be given a worksheet to correspond with the activity. On the worksheet, you will label the side lengths and you will do the calculations there. When you've completed the activity, you may come forward and hand in your worksheet. Then you will be able to explore models we will be using for next week's lesson. Does everyone understand the directions?
Yes.
Okay, so you may begin, and I have your nets here, and your measurements are down there.
Get out. You're messing with Emily's homework. Don't knock the camera down.
It's okay, we'll cut it out. Okay, so here is your first figure, Miss Kathleen.
Okay, so it's gonna be A equals 12, B equals 8, Z equals 4. So 2 times 12 is 96 times 2 is 12. No, it's not 96. Yeah, it is. 96. Down 9 now here. 12, 18, 19, and then 8 times 4, right? No. 8 times B, 8 times C, 12 times 4 is 48. Times 2 is 16, 96, and then B times C is 8 times 4 is 32, times 2 is 64. So 192 plus 96 plus 64 is 10 and 12, 18, 6. I can't do math in my head right now. 18, 6 is 24, 25. 352 square centimeters.
Good job. Okay, figure number 2.
4, 6, and 2. Okay, 4, 6, 2. So it'd be 6 times 4 is 24, times 2 is 48. And then A times C is 4 times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, and then B times C, 6 times 2 is 12, times 2 is 24. So it's 18, 4, 5, 6, 7, 88 centimeters, or 88 something. You didn't give me a unit measure.
88 units
88
squared.
units squared.
If you don't
Okay.
have a measurement, you just put
Units
units.
squared. Okay.
So there's figure 3.
Okay, so we have 2 sides of that are equal, so I can use the square formula, so it's going to be 6 times 10 squared, so it's going to be 600
Good job.
units squared.
Yes, very good. Okay, and figure 4.
5, 7, and 4, so 5, 7, 4, so 5 times 7 is 35, times 2 is 70, and then 5 times 4 is 20, times 2 is 40, and then 7 times 4 is 28, times 2 is 56, 6, 5, and 7 are 16, so 166 units squared.
Good job. Okay, cool. So today we talked about surface area. And surface area is the measure of the number of square units needed to cover the outside of the figure. And we learned how to calculate the surface area of a cube and a rectangular prism. The surface area of a cube is 6 times a squared, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the surface area of a rectangular prism is 2AB plus 2AC plus 2BC, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow we're going to discuss the surface area of spheres and cylinders. But your homework tonight is to make a list of reasons why you would need to use surface area in the real world.
And we
I have
talked about covering a box with fabric. And so we have to figure out how much fabric to use. Cool.
Okay, so class is dismissed.
Recess!
Can I make stop?
Button at the back.